Welcome to the Heathen's Den. I'm Reese, and today I'm going to answer some questions. Seems to be a very popular sport amongst non-believers, so I thought I would join in, because why not? Let's take a look at today's questions for atheists. And here we go. The Geeky Christian. Questions for atheists, agnostics, and non-Christians. Here we go. This by Shawn Nelson way back in 2013, yet the website's still there. That website, of course, will be shown in the description. Question 1. Are you absolutely sure there is no God? If not, then is it possible that there is a God? And if it is possible that God exists, then can you think of any reason that would keep you from wanting to look at the evidence? My answer? No, I'm not absolutely sure there's no God, and yes, it is possible there is one. There is nothing to keep me from looking at the evidence for the Christian God, and I do. I'm yet to actually come across any that makes me believe that there is such a God, but I'll keep looking. In 2. Would you agree that intelligently designed things call for an intelligent designer of them? If so, then would you agree that evidence for intelligent design in the universe would be evidence for a designer of the universe? The answer, of course, is, well, yes. Intelligently designed things do need a designer. And if you find any evidence of one, let me know. Question 3. Would you agree that nothing cannot produce something? If so, then if the universe did not exist but then came to exist, wouldn't this be evidence of a cause beyond the universe? Yes. Well, maybe. We've never seen nothing produce something, but then again, there's all sorts of levels of nothing. So it's a deeper question than it seems. If you want to learn all about nothing, I suggest you look up Lawrence Krauss, because he knows more about nothing than anybody else that I'm aware of. But regardless thereof, so far as we know, nothing cannot produce something. That is correct. And we don't actually know that the universe did not exist. We presume that it did not exist, or maybe it existed in a different form. So, yeah, okay. That's kind of a nowhere to go there. Let's see. Wouldn't this be evidence of a cause beyond the universe? Well, yeah, kind of. But that doesn't necessarily mean God, right? I mean, that's an argument from ignorance. We don't know. Therefore, we don't know. Say it with me. We don't know. Question 4. Would you agree with me that just because we cannot see something with our eyes, such as our mind, gravity, magnetism, the wind, that does not mean it doesn't exist? Absolutely, I agree that just because you can't see something with your eyes, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because we can test for all of the things that Shawn has indicated. We know they exist, we can test them, we can measure them. So I don't see what his point there is. We'll probably come back to that. Oh, look, follow-up question. Number 5. Would you also agree that just because we cannot see God with our eyes does not necessarily mean he doesn't exist? I do agree that does not mean he doesn't exist. It doesn't mean he does, but it doesn't mean he does not. So, very weak sauce here. Very weak sauce. Number 6. In the light of the Big Bang evidence for the origin of the universe, is it more reasonable... evidence? It's more of a hypothesis? But anyway, I'm sorry. In light of the Big Bang evidence for the origin of the universe, is it more reasonable to believe that no one created something out of nothing, or that someone created something out of nothing? That's kind of a more weak sauce here. All right, let's see. Okay. let's take this in pieces here. Is it more reasonable to believe that no one created something out of nothing, or someone created something out of nothing? Non sequitur? Neither one? None of the above? Can I choose C, none of the above? The whole question is nonsense. Moving on. Number 7, would you agree that something presently exists? Yes. If something presently exists and something cannot come from nothing, well, we haven't actually proven that, but anyway, or that there was nothing, then would you also agree that something must always have existed? There is a theory that the universe is space-time, and if there's no space, there's no time, therefore there was no universe, right? And yes, it probably came from something. We don't know what that something was. It might have been another universe. It might have just all been this closely held nothing, right? This densely packed something in a whole bunch of nothing. We don't know. So, again, there's this, we don't know. Stop trying to give definite answers to things that you have no freaking clue about. Moving right along. Number 8. If it takes an intelligent being to produce an encyclopedia, then would it not also take an intelligent being to produce the equivalent of 1,000 sets of encyclopedia full of information in the first one-celled animal? No. Number 9. If an effect cannot be greater than its cause, let me stop you right there, because an effect can be greater than its cause. So, once again, your premise is flawed, your question is nonsense. Number 10. Is there anything wrong anywhere? That's pretty vague. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. If so, how can we know unless there is a moral law? There are morals and there are laws. Therefore, that's how we can tell. Number 11. If every law needs a lawgiver, does it not make sense to say all moral law needs a moral lawgiver? Yes, we have already covered this. People make laws, and people have morals. In fact, there are animals. Groups of animals obey laws, if you will, rules, and punish members of the group who do not obey them. I don't see what your point here is. Number 12. Would you agree that if it took intelligence to make a model universe in a science lab, then it took a superintelligence to make a real universe? No. Number 13. Would you agree that it takes a cause to make a small glass ball found in the woods? And would you agree that making the ball bigger does not eliminate the need for a cause? If so, doesn't the biggest ball of all, the whole universe, need a cause? Absolutely. Number 14, if there is a cause beyond the whole finite and therefore limited universe, would not this cause have to be beyond the finite, namely non-finite or infinite? So let's unpack that one a little bit. So the universe is not proven to be finite. Just because we can't see the end of it doesn't mean that there is an end to it. That doesn't mean that the end isn't growing and will continue to keep going basically forever. We haven't even proved that the so-called Big Bang was even a thing. We presume, we postulate that this is true. So, okay. If there is a cause beyond the finite universe, would not this cause have to be beyond the finite, namely infinite? No, we've already gone over this. That was what, question 9, I believe it was? So, yeah, moving on. Number 15, and finally, in the light of the anthropic principle that the universe was fine-tuned for the emergence of life from its very inception, wouldn't it make sense to say there was an intelligent being who pre-planned human life? Yes, it would. However, The anthropic principle has yet to even be hinted at in your questions here, and is in no way proved. And in fact, the entire freaking universe is inimical to life, except for the rare specks of dust that we postulate that it might be possible for life to form. So the entire question, once again, is based on a presupposition that has no support. Your analogy is crap, and your question is meaningless. Thanks for playing. Next time in the Heathen's Dens, questions for agnostics, because they are freaking hilarious.